Hi, my name is Justina, and I'll be telling you about the listening process. Even though we may not realize it, there are 5 stages of the listening process that we go through every time we have a successful conversation. These stages are receiving, understanding, remembering, evaluating, and responding. Listening is a process where the speaker and the listener work together to achieve a common understanding. The first step is receiving. To improve reception, you want to focus attention on both the verbal and nonverbal messages that are being sent. With nonverbal messages such as crossing the arms and rolling the eyes, we assume that the speaker is annoyed and frustrated.
I think our sister is adopted, especially Emery. You know, it's like every single time she talks, I honestly want to go and bang my head up against the wall.
With nonverbal messages such as a nice smile, we can assume that the person is happy and excited.
I remember this one time when you trapped the cat in a closet and you put sunscreen all over it and you had it in there for hours, just petting sunscreen on it.
Avoid distractions in the environment, which nowadays includes a cell phone or other technology that takes away from us listening to what the speaker has to say. In order to avoid any distractions from listening and to not distract the speaker, it is better to reduce any distractions if possible.
So one time when I was living in California, we got a 96 Liberty and we decided to go to the San Diego Zoo and hey, I'm getting really annoyed with this girl right now. She's putting all the stress on me, like flipping out because she volunteered for something, but then she's like, well, I don't have enough time to do something, and
Sorry about that.
that's alright. It's alright.
With the first example, the listener responded to the text, which may eventually cause for even more text in the future. With the second example, the listener reduced the distraction by silencing their cell phone so it wouldn't happen again. Thus, the second example is the better way to react. Maintain your role as a listener. This simply means that you should try to avoid interrupting the speaker until they're completely finished.
So I was watching Game of Thrones last night,
I like that show.
and it was the royal wedding,
Yeah.
right? And so Joffrey,
His little turd nugget.
yeah, he was being mean to Tyrion Lannister,
Yeah.
and can I talk?
I'm minding you talk. I'm listening.
Okay, so he's being mean to Tyrion Lannister.
In the example you just saw, the listener was interrupting way too much, and it was very unnecessary. Step 2 of listening is understanding. The understanding stage is just that, to try to understand what the speaker has to say, and to be able to understand the messages that are being sent, both verbal and nonverbal. In order to improve your understanding, you want to relate new information to things that you already know. It's easier to understand something when you relate it to something that you've already fully understood, and so that everything makes sense to you. I personally do this often. It makes it an easier way to understand what the speaker has to say. You want to see the speaker's message from their point of view rather than your own. You want to try to avoid judging a message until you fully understood it in the way that the speaker intended you to understand it. I personally find this kind of hard to do sometimes. I lose what the speaker actually wants to say, and instead, I would just be thinking about what my response would be to something that they said earlier, rather than what they are saying currently. This can cause confusion, since what they were saying before may be different than what they are saying now, which causes your pre-formulated response to be inadequate. Perhaps this example can clarify.
Emery, don't move your head. She's recording. But you can move your eyes, your mouth and stuff. Alright? Alright, anyways. So the duck. I came home
Don't
today,
move my
the
head.
duck was out with his pen.
Don't move my head.
And,
Don't move my head.
I needed
Don't
to,
move my head.
find a key
Don't
to
move
get
my
in the
head.
pen. Do you know
Don't
where
move
that
my
is?
head.
Wait, I'm still stuck on you can't move your head, but like, can you move like, and I was like,
Paraphrase the speaker's ideas and concepts. Paraphrasing can help you understand what the speaker's message is. Personally, I paraphrase when there might have been something that confused me or that I misheard. The third step of the listening process is remembering. Most messages need to be remembered for some period of time. In situations like listening in class or in a small group, it's appropriate to take notes or record the meeting in order to remember it in the future. However, most interpersonal conversations deem it inappropriate to take notes.
So on November 3rd, I need your help with something.
Hold on a
it's
second. Continue.
2014. I don't. You really can't remember this? You really need to write it down?
No, I need to.
Okay, it's involves Justina and I, and you really can't remember that part.
No.
That's like 2 names.
So, continue. I'm listening.
Okay, it's gonna happen around 9/16. Okay, you can just get with me the day of, and I will tell you what time I need you. You don't need to listen, people. This is first off. This is secret, so you need to stop writing stuff down.
However, sometimes it is okay to take notes of a conversation that is more technical, such as the need to write down an appointment or a phone number. It is important to note that what you remember isn't exactly what was heard. Instead, it is a reconstruction of the messages that were heard. To improve your message memory, you want to identify the central ideas in a message. I do this by making a mental outline of what is being said. It also keeps things in order and thus less confusing. Summarizing the message in a more easily retained form can also help you remember better. You want to be careful to not ignore the crucial details. You might want to sometimes repeat names and key concepts to yourself or aloud if that's appropriate, in order to remember them. When meeting a new person, I repeat their name out loud so I can better remember it in the future. Whenever you might be in doubt of anything, you want to make sure that you ask questions about what the speaker has just said. The 4th step is evaluating. Evaluations consist of judging messages in some way. It is where you might try to evaluate what the speaker's true intentions really are. The better you know a person, the better your evaluations of their true intentions can be, and thus react more appropriately to the messages that they are sending. While evaluating, you want to resist evaluation. Now, this is strange to say due to the fact that this is the evaluation stage. It is important that you fully understand what the speaker has to say before you evaluate anything that they have said. You want to give the speaker any benefit of the doubt. You may do this by asking for any clarification on any issues that you may disagree with. Distinguish facts from inferences. You want to separate the facts from your opinions. Identify any biases, self-interest, or prejudices. This may lead to the speaker slanting unfairly than what they are actually presenting. The 5th and final step is responding. There are 2 phases of responding. 1, responses that you make while the speaker is talking, and 2, responses that you make after the speaker is done talking. This is what you would call feedback, information that you send back to the speaker, and that tells the speaker how you feel and think about his or her messages. As the person is speaking, you should show that you are listening with nonverbal communication called back-channeling cues.
You know what I don't get is why Mom likes buying antique furniture.
Yeah.
It makes no living sense why I have to sit on this rickety couch. I mean, it's probably ready to fall apart.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
It's broken.
It is broken. And then living in these antique houses, it gets crazy because then you run the risk of like being haunted. Like, isn't there just one room in this house because it's old? Like, because it's old.
As in the example that you just saw, you can see how the speaker couldn't even fully communicate their message to the listener. And they weren't able to fully say what they wanted to because those back-channeling cues turned into interruptions. For effective responding, you want to be supportive of the speaker throughout the entire time that they are speaking. To show that support, you want to use a variety of back-channeling cues. You want to express your support for the speaker in your final responses. You want your responses to be relatable to what the speaker has just said, in order to show that you were listening the entire time. And it also shows that you understand them.
I don't know why on earth my parents decided to keep that duck. It is ridiculous. I hate it so much. All it does is walk around and crap and quack. That's all it does, crap and quack.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's useless.
Anyway, I don't know why my parents kept that duck. It drives me up a wall. Literally, I think our parents love it more than us.
Did you watch Game of Thrones last night?
In the good example, we saw how the listener responded to what the speaker was saying with full understanding. In the bad example, we saw that even though the speaker was talking, the listener didn't really take that into account and was not supportive of the speaker. You want to be honest even if it might be something that the speaker doesn't want to hear. You want to state your thoughts and feelings, but do it in a way as if those thoughts and feelings were your own. You can do this by using I messages. With this cycle of listening, we assume that the listener and the speaker have no difficulty in receiving and sending messages. However, that might not always be the case, since some people might have hearing impairments. That can make listening a little bit more difficult and cause a variety of problems. My name is Justina, and I hope you enjoyed learning about the 5 stages of the listening process, so that you can become a better listener.